You know this is therapeutic, man.
Open your minds.
Albums of power, albums of power, albums of power, albums of power.
And so a community is where you control your police, you control your commerce, you control your education, you control your house. We don't control none of that. We live in a hood. Huh? Well, what about the Negroes that get out? Oh, well, see, my cousin, they say he's a multi-millionaire, almost at $1 billion. Three PhDs, working on 2 more. Driving down the street in Chicago in his Rolls Royce, enjoying himself, and he hear these sirens and look through the mirror and see this cop car flashing lights. He squeezed the steering wheel, man. Heart beats fast. Because he knows the price of a Negro, what it could be. And then when that cop car passed him by, he said, thank God he wasn't after you in the first place, punk. That Negro thing you can't get away from. It's universal. They wasn't coming after you. With all your millions, with your Rolls Royce, with your PhD, didn't help. That's the hood. Why do you think you never pick up the paper till you read over and over and see white families? You think it's thousands of black cops in America. Why don't you see white families crying as black cops shot my loved one 40 times in the back of the head? Why do you think black cops are that? You think they're more spiritual? Think they're better? No! They got enough sense to know that white folks ain't gonna tolerate it. And I will stop in our neighborhood when we decide we will not tolerate it. Now, if we was organized, which is hard to organize people who are just gonna run crazy and you don't know you're crazy. But if we were, with the money we have, and the many people who would come to our aid that don't know what it's like to be a Negro, and we said, if we said, look, we saying, if we don't get a federal law to deal with police brutality, that anytime a cop or anybody carry a gun, have to have a license just like you used to drive a car. And if you use it wrong, then you'll lose your license. And if it's upheld, you can never work again as a cop or a store guard or a private detective. How do you get Congress to push that through? Well, you take your economic power and you call on your friends, black, white, young and old, and say, this coming Christmas, if we don't have a federal law to outlaw police brutality by law, if we call them for a nationwide boycott of Christmas and it'll start on Thanksgiving. Well, let me tell you what that means. 79% of all retail in America happens between Thanksgiving and Christmas. People stay in business all year, lose money just for Christmas, huh? Well, what happens now? Saxton Avenue, Toys R Us, Sears and Roebuck, Weston House. They will get the bill, and all they got to do is make one phone call and say, Harry, that's the senator, I want that bill pushed through in 3 days. Okay, it's an economic thing. It's that simple. But we have the power, but the system has wiped us out so bad.
Albums of power, albums of power, albums of power.
San Antonio, Lincoln 6. Go ahead. Clear suspect down, 10-4. That's 10-4. The officer's code 4. We have one suspect that's been shot.
Open your minds.
You know this is therapeutic, man.
And we are back. Peace, folks. Welcome back to another edition of the Popular Thought Series right here on the old T.P.O.T YouTube page. I'm your host, X, of course, but you knew that already. That's why your black asses are here. Now, I know we doing a late show tonight, y'all. You know, we usually throw down around 9:30. But, you know, my brother Black Ram, who you can see right here, had a show of his own, so I figured I'd wait to start the show until Black Ram was done, give him a little bit of time to stretch his leg, drink some lemon water, whatever it is he does in between shows. But we are up and we are running, and the brother Black Ram is here. But before we get started, y'all know I always start the show with thanking you good folks for your likes, your shares, your views, your subs, and of course your hard-earned pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters, and 50-cent pieces. Because I realize you don't have to do it, man. You don't have to watch these damn videos. You don't have to come here and listen to these streams. You don't have to sub to this channel. You don't have to like it. You don't have to share it. And you definitely don't have to drop your hard-earned coins on this platform. But you good folks choose to do so, man. Night after night, week after week, you are here. I don't take you lightly, man. I never have and I never will. You got my word on that. I'm humbled. I'm honored. I'm appreciative. I'm grateful to all you good folks. And that goes to all the good folks out there and good folks who hang out up in here. All right. All right. But before I bring my brother up, I need to share some programming notes with y'all. So let me do that right now because we got a few more good shows besides this one coming up. Tomorrow, brother Jay Shine will be here, and he will be in here another night of Dark Exodus. He'll be talking race, lies, and the black male vote. It might be a little volatile because those of you who know Brother Jay Shine, you know how he gets down. He'll be talking shit, and he'll be naming names, I'm sure. But this is the thing. When I spoke to him the other day, he said, X, whoever want to come up and challenge, let him come up. So that's what I'm going to do. If he call your black ass out and you in the audience, I'm going to allow you to come up and defend yourself. Yeah. So make sure you're here tomorrow. Tomorrow we jumping off early, y'all. We jumping off probably about 8 o'clock. All right. Because y'all know we do the Saturday shows a little early. So 8 p.m. Eastern time right here on the T.P.O.T YouTube page. You Negroes know. And then Wednesday, another installment of, damn, that's the wrong picture. Sorry, y'all. Another installment of, damn, where the hell is the damn picture at? Crazy. Where the hell is the picture? I don't even have the picture, y'all. Damn, I can't even hit y'all in the head. Oh, there it is. There it is. Another installment of What About? Y'all know we got a new series called What About, where I come on here and I tell some of the Negro secrets that we've been keeping. And I know that y'all think it's all about old mamas and stuff, but it's not. It's about some of the Negro secrets. Yeah, I'm sharing the secrets. Y'all know last night we did What About Destroying Children's Financial Future, where your mama put the light bill in your name and all that kind of crap. Next week, What About is going to be Insuring the Lives. What About Insuring the Lives? Where we'll be talking about life insurance and the lack thereof, because I know a lot of us as black folks, we think we ain't gonna never get old. Our children are never gonna grow up, but that's BS, because, we can sit around the fireplace and look happy like this, and 20 years, 10 years, 5 years, 1 year, we can be doing this. So make sure you're here Wednesday, man, because we're going to be throwing down with another installment of What About? All right? All right. So without further ado, a brother who is just one of my favorites, and he's probably yours too. The one and only, my brother, Black Ram 313. Brother Ram.
Yes, sir.
Brother.
What's going on, Brother X? Hey, I always affectionately and respectfully refer to you as my big brother. Always good to be here. I know I always miss you like two passing ships in the ocean because
Yeah, man.
my work schedule, I'm up at 3:45, 4 a.m. So I go to bed real early, but I'm off tomorrow. So I'm here, brother.
My man, my man. No, first and foremost, let me congratulate you on your channel, man, because you're kicking ass down there, but you always have. So you know that's not
Appreciate
nothing
that.
unusual.
Appreciate
Nothing unusual. I try to catch you live as much as I can. I caught a little bit tonight. You and Brother Solo. Shout out to Brother Solo.
Absolutely.
But you're kicking ass down there, man. And you and Brother Oheen
Yeah.
be kicking ass. And
That's
Brother
it.
Oheen stood me the hell up too. You're supposed to come on.
What?
You're supposed to come on my shit and stood me up. God damn it.
Oh wow.
You know. But I know I'm gonna get back up with him because I want to get him over here to talk some crypto too.
Absolutely.
It's basically like, because you know how it is with this YouTube stuff, Brother Ram. You know, the logistics be wrong. Somebody working, somebody off. This
Right.
person is in town. This person's out of town. So this YouTube stuff is funny, man. It's a funny business. So I'm pretty sure I will catch up with Brother Oheen at some point. So what's been good with you, man? Because it's been a while.
Yeah.
But full disclosure, y'all. Me and Brother Black Ram are not unfamiliars with each other. Somebody hit me up the other day. They was like, man, how you get Black Ram on your shit? I'm like, man, that's my brother. Like, you know, I don't think they understand how long the reach of T.P.O.T is, Brother Black Ram. I just,
wow.
yeah. I mean, you know, Brother Ram was the first person that I used some of his stuff. Like years back, I knew who he was. I used to listen to his stuff, and I wanted to use that. You know, I wanted to use his symbol, and I wanted to use you know, that whole "this is therapeutic," man. So I hit him up, and him and I, we hadn't even conversed or nothing like that. And he was like, yeah, man, go ahead and use it. And I was surprised when I saw his comments underneath my stuff. I was like, damn, Black Ram watches my shit. You know, I was flattered. Damn, Black Ram watches my shit. And we've been cool ever since.
Yes,
and I mean, I got a lot of respect for you, brother, Black Ram. You know I do, man. I got a lot of respect for what you do down there on your channel, man. You know, a lot of the stuff you do down there makes me think twice, you know. And you know, I'm a married Negro, and I still be. You have me watching. You have me watching things. Yeah. Let's sit back and watch and see if some of this shit that Black Ram talk about. Let me see if I see it in here. You know, I ain't gonna lie. You know, have me watching, boy. Have me paying attention to what's going on up in here, boy. Absolutely. Yeah, I gotta watch, man. I gotta watch shit. But so now, I mean, I see like the channel has grown and all that kind of stuff.
Yes, sir.
So are you turning a corner? Are you getting into crypto and all that kind of stuff? Or are you staying with the whole Black Ram, this is therapeutic, man?
Well, you know, I think evolution is necessary. I learned a long time ago that one should continually evolve. And with the crypto stuff, we're seeing the greatest transfer of wealth ever. I was just talking to a buddy of mine earlier today and at work. And we always play this game like, hey, what if you could go back to when you were 18 or when you were 16 or when you were in your 20s? So he asked me, say, hey, man, what if you could be, 25 again? I'm in my 40s now. He said, if you had $10,000, what would you do with it? And he went first. He said he would invest it in Amazon. I said, man, are you crazy? Amazon? I said, Bitcoin. I said, Bitcoin is the fastest growing asset. The fastest growing asset, right? More so than any other thing that the world has ever seen. Think about that. The exponential growth on Bitcoin is more than your top Fortune 500 companies. I told him, I said, Amazon is at 3,500 today. Bitcoin is at 60,000. Now, which one would you want to hold a share of if you could have one share? It ain't
Absolutely.
hard to say 3,500 versus 60,000. He said, y'all, well, you know, you're right. Because we're talking about exponential growth. So along with the, you know, the what I call the real pill, because I shift from red pill to black pill to real pill. And basically the real pill is more of an overall awareness. And with the real pill, it's about being conscious of everything, not just female nature. So having said that, we are experiencing the biggest wealth transfer ever. And it's time for us Black folk to get in because there's no barriers to entry going into the crypto market. Before, you could blame racism and white supremacy for your financial situation. But now, these investment opportunities that exist in the crypto market, there's no barriers of entry. You can get in and really plan your retirement if you know what you're doing. Not financial advice or anything like that, but if you know what you're doing. So that's why I had Solo TV 84 on. Of course, everybody's familiar with, if you watch my show, you know that Ohin and I have a program every week, every Sunday on his page and on my page. And we talk about, you know, a lot of different things, but one of those things is cryptocurrency because it is the, you know, Brother X, when we were younger, we may have missed the .com boom, the Yahoos and the Googles. You know, I remember AOL dial-up. I remember when the cell phone first came out, Brother X. I was like, oh, what is that thing? But I never had the mindset to invest in it. Like, what is this company called? Verizon, US Cellular, you know, Motorola. You know, what is this stuff that's coming out? I remember the big brick phones back in the 90s and everything, but that didn't have mass adoption. That was only for the D-boys. But we missed all of that. I don't know about you, Brother X. I can't say where you put your money, but I know I missed all of that. I missed the cell phone boom. I missed the .com boom. I missed the Amazons. I missed the Teslas and everything. And not with just with that, you know, now cryptocurrency comes around. And also we're on the cusp of another thing. I was telling somebody, again, it's not financial advice. I was telling some coworkers and some friends, a couple of companies that they need to look into. A couple of months ago, it's a company called Lucid. That's like a luxury brand, it's like a Tesla, but it's more luxurious. And people who got in when I mentioned it, when I got a little bit myself, a couple of months ago, they were able to get $12 per share. Now that same share, I think today hit a high of like $40. So the technology is moving away from gasoline-powered engines to electric vehicles. So now you got to think about this. If you want some real wealth, you have to think about, hey, what about the electricity to run the vehicle? Well, who's making the point of contact? It's like you have when you put gasoline in your car, well, you need in a similar way to put the electricity in your car. So who does that? It's a company called ChargePoint. Well, who makes the batteries for this type of thing? Well, a company called NEO. Well, what's the next big electric car coming from? That's just strictly EV. Well, now we look at Lucid Technologies, as well as other car companies, because we know politically, you know, they're saying that they want the United States pretty much to stop selling gasoline engines by, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, between 2025 and 2030. So right now, there's a great investment opportunity in electric vehicles because you're going to look up one day, if we're alive and well, most high willing, and you're going to see majority of cars are electric. Wouldn't you want to start investing now? So all of these technological advances and changes, I missed each one by not being financially literate. And now I'm like, okay, I don't want this to happen to me again. So now I'm looking into EVs and I'm looking into cryptocurrencies, seeing if there's some gains to be made. Now think about if we did that as a collective. Think about how that would improve the ghettos across the United States if we took that collective effort to build ourselves up through investing. And what I realized a while ago is that you can't work your way into wealth. I'm not saying that everybody's going to be rich, but you can't work your way into wealth, especially for somebody else.
Hell
But
no.
you can invest your way into wealth. And
Absolutely.
so this is where we're at in this moment of time, where there's no barriers, there's nothing or no one prohibiting you except yourself into getting into this market or these markets, as far as investing in electric vehicles, investing in cryptocurrency, because I don't want to miss that next wave. A couple of years from now, you'll be glad that you put a few coins. And again, it's not investment advice. I'm not a financial expert, but you invest, what you don't mind losing, as much as you're comfortable with. It maybe it's different from one person to another, but you put money into the market and you watch it grow. So quick story, it's a coin called Ethereum. Didn't think much of it, but I put $300 in it because you needed Ethereum to buy other coins. So I sat in there and said, I'm gonna leave it alone for a while. When I'm ready to buy something, the money already be there. I put that $300 in, Brother X, and a week and a half later, my 300 was $700. I said, wait a minute, because I knew about this thing, but before I've never seen any financial gain like that. Now you can't get those kind of returns in the bank, but my 300 turned to 700. And don't get me wrong, my 700 went back down to 500, but it was still more than the 300 I initially invested, and ended up being 700. And now, of course, it's up a little bit more. But my point was that I saw in real time real gains. So that changed my whole attitude about the cryptocurrency market, my whole attitude about investing and wealth creation. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I invested a little bit of money in it too. I actually sold some garbage stocks that I've owned for years that weren't doing anything. Yeah, it was garbage, man. Because I was always kind of into the stock market, because I got into the stock market a long time ago when I used to work for Terminex International, and they gave you an option, to buy stocks. So I bought quite a bit. They've changed now. They're now no, I actually bought stock in Service Master, who owns Terminex and Molly Maids and Chemlon and all these places. But now they've changed into something called Terminex International. They've gotten rid of Service Master, but the stocks aren't doing crap, man.
Yeah.
I mean, when I bought the stocks, I bought them at like $9 a share. I think they're up to maybe, because I bought them back in my mid 20s, and they're up to like maybe $100 now, which is good, but it took them 30 years to get there.
Yeah.
I also own a few shares of stock in Walmart that I bought. When I bought those shares, they were, I think, $42 a piece. I think they're up to, I don't know, 160 now. So, I mean, they're not really moving. So I dumped some of the Terminex shares, and I went ahead and I invested into some Bitcoin. And I took a hit a while back, man. A while back, I lost like $1,000 on that shit. I looked at that shit, I was like, what the hell?
It is volatile.
But it's worked its way back up. So, I'm at ease, because the stocks and stuff that I own, they're not really for me. I mean, I would cash them out if I had to, but they're for my grandchildren. The Bitcoin is mine. I'm doing that for me. So, I kind of watch it closely. I watch it pretty closely because, that's my money. That's my fuck up money, and we'll see how it goes, man. So far, so good. I'm not nervous. So, I'm more nervous with my stocks because they dip. And,
yeah.
My YTD, man, my year to date be looking crazy. Dividends is kind of low, so I'm a little more nervous about them than I am the freaking stocks. But shout out to Brother Wayman Brown for the $2 super chat. I appreciate that, brother. He says Rams body of work is indispensable for Black men. I agree.
Appreciate that, man.
Wayman. I agree. And you know, when you drop coins on this platform, you get this. I appreciate you dropping your hard-earned coins on this platform. And also, shout out to Lady Kelly Ray for the $4.99 super chat. She says, good evening, T.P.O.T and Black Ram 313. Appreciate that. Lady Kelly Ray, you know, when you drop coins on this platform, you get this. I appreciate you dropping your hard-earned coins on this platform. Yeah, so lately, because I know you got your, ear to the street. What do you think about 2021, man? Like all the stuff that's happened on media, all the crap that's been going on YouTube, man. What is Brother Black Ram's take on all of this crap?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to be honest with you, Brother X. I'm gonna have to be honest. So I have a YouTube account where I'm subscribed to some of everybody in this space, right? But I have another YouTube account where my subscriptions are mainly news, right? World news, geopolitics, investments, and cryptocurrencies. For the past year, Brother X, and it's no disrespect to anybody in this space, I actually haven't tuned in to the YouTube account where I'm subscribed to some of everybody. And I haven't been watching the space at all. And that's no knock to anyone, but my focus has turned into just creating my content and establishing my brand and cryptocurrency. So I pivoted, although I still talk about female nature and things like that, but you know what you know already. So for me, I still love a lot of the brothers in the space, but again, no knock to them. I can't tell you the last time I've watched any other popular YouTubers' content, and not because I don't like them, but I've been so focused on fine tuning my content. I'm doing audio books on my Patreon page. I'm trying to give people more of a immersed experience on my Patreon page. My videos, I'm trying to just do a little bit more and pivot and talk about other subjects and experiment over there. I had a video that I talked about supply shortages because of the trucking industry. I had a video talking about the possible war between China and Taiwan, which has major implications, of course, for the United States. So I've shifted my focus quite a bit. Still a female nature videos, but I'm getting more into the geopolitical and financial realm more and more. So as of late, I couldn't tell you what's going on. Every now and then somebody email me and tell me about somebody or send me a video, and I just don't watch it because, time is of the essence. I'm not a full-time YouTuber. I wish I got enough money on the platform to be a full-time YouTuber, but I work a 9-to-5 job. I work my 40 hours a week and my 2 off days. So that leaves very little time to create my content and produce content and actually do my research on cryptocurrency and world events. I don't really have a whole lot of time to listen to people fuss and fight with each other on YouTube and talk about topics and I'm not belittling anybody or putting down the topics because I talk about some of the same topics, but all of the beefs and all of the stuff that happens, and I don't really need to listen to a whole lot of YouTubers because I know what they know and they know what I know for the most part. So I've pretty much backed off for the most part from the YouTube space. And again, I can't really tell you the last time I've really watched content. Yeah.
So in other words, you don't pollute your brain with the BS. I respect that. That's what I'm going to start doing.
Not at all. Yeah.
Classic Black Ram. A shout out to my brother Great Britain with the $10 super chat. He says, sitting in for a minute off top for the two of the top dogs in the spear for the dog food, OG. Because, brother Great Britain knows, because see, like you, brother Black Ram, you know, I run a business, right? I run a shop, right? And you know what we do. We do power mechanics and mechanical engineering. So I don't make a whole hell of a lot of money off of YouTube either. You know, I wish I could sit up here, man, and make stacks and stacks and stacks, but I don't.
Beautiful, right?
So, and I tell people all the time that, you know, the little bit of money that I get off of YouTube, that usually goes to a couple boxes of good cigars and a big 50-pound bag of dog food. So, so brother Great Britain, no, you know, this money here is probably gonna go on a bag of dog food. So I appreciate it, brother Great Britain. That's my brother right there. You know, when you drop coins on this platform, you get this. I appreciate you dropping your hard-earned coins on this platform. And my brother Great Britain signed up and became a member of the channel, y'all. That's my brother, man. That's my brother. Joined the channel, dropped a few coins on a brother. Shout out to brother Great Britain. In fact, we gonna do this. A big coin drop on the platform. I appreciate it, brother Great Britain. I do, man. Longtime supporter of the T.P.O.T YouTube page, dropping coins and joining the channel all in one ball swoop. Appreciate that, brother. But yeah, you're not polluting your brain, so that is good that you're not doing that. So do you ever think that YouTube is going to stop being as stop being as explosive, stop being as vitriolic, stop being as, you know, divisive, and is there ever going to be a day that happens?
No. Regardless what the vehicle is or the time that you're living in, human nature is going to be the same. And this is why, you know, ancient religious texts still have relevance today, because although technology may change, times may change, but human nature will always stay the same. And as humans, let's be honest, we like the BS. Something negative will always get a lot more attention than something that's positive. If we're tearing each other down, that's exciting. If you and I right now, Brother X, this wouldn't happen. We got too much love and respect for each other. But hypothetically, if you and I got into a beef, you will see your channel views go up and my channel views go up.
Oh, yeah.
But let us talk about doing something that benefits people in a financial, even an esoteric way, you know, so to speak. Then, of course, the views will be much lower. So since the world, of course, as we know, is in a negative vibration overall, you feed that negativity, then it grows. The world is not in a positive vibration, it's in a negative vibration. So the positive vibration is slow growth. So negativity will always win, especially with, you know, our melanated people, because we love us some drama. We love it more than anything else, brother. We love us some drama. You know, where there should be, you know, unity, there's division. Where there should be peace, there's drama. And of course, the whole rift that has existed for a very long time started in the 1960s, of course, with the introduction of, you know, welfare and the Civil Rights Act, the whole rift between black men and black women. Of course, that's big business too. You know, and then when you kind of get off of that and say, you know what, I don't want to be about that as much, or either at all, your channel can suffer. My channel suffered when I said, you know what, what's the solution to all of these things that we're talking about? And I started talking about solutions, and then, you know, the channel still grows, but not as much as it once did. When you were engulfed in a problem. But yeah,
True.
the space, I don't believe the space will ever change as long as we have a platform such as YouTube and Instagram and social media. There will always be mess. I mean, look at how Facebook has turned to where people go live and get murdered.
Yeah.
And
On it.
On it, exactly. They go live and they see your location and they come in where you're at because that negative vibration. I mean, it's a never-ending story, and it's always being fed. So negativity just breeds more negativity. So it can grow like that. So with YouTube, nah, it'll never stop. Social media, nah, it'll never stop. In fact, if I had to predict, I would say it would get worse. I mean, one of the first laws of thermodynamics is entropy. Things tend to go toward chaos and disorder. And all systems tend to go to chaos and disorder. You know that from mechanics.
Absolutely.
So systems, you can build a system, but at some point it's going to descend and those systems are not going to function the way they once were. It's like the decay and the disorder is built into all systems. And that's what we have. We're going to have that decay in the system. We're going to have that negativity. Absolutely.
Yeah. Do we spend a lot of time creating it? Or, I mean, I think, me personally, I think we spend a lot of time creating these problems, because a lot of these problems that you see come along, they kind of come along unnecessarily, right? Where you got a person who will say something, number one, that's not true, or something that's not verified. And what they'll do is they'll spread it, right? Then other people repeat it. And you know how it is with people. If you put 20 people in a circle, right? You put them in a circle and you tell one person, it's sort of like that thing from back in the day, don't drink the milk, it's spoiled, right? You turn to one person and say, don't drink the milk, it's spoiled.
Right.
Now it'll go through all 20 of those people. By the time it gets back to you, because people have taken things away from the statement and added to it, it'll go from don't drink the milk is spoiled till don't drink the milk, there's acid in it, and when you drink it, you're going to explode. It done turned all the way into that by the time it get through. Because people have added things to it. People have taken things away from it. So if you get enough people doing that, by the time that story comes back to you, it's totally discombobulated, man. It's nowhere near what it was in the beginning. And you're already dealing with an untrue to begin with. So now you're adding and taking things away from something that's already a lie. So by the time it gets back to you, it's crazy. And what makes it really crazy is that a lot of those people out there that are repeating it, they're repeating it to people that believe it. So you're defending yourself from something that's not even true.
Right. Absolutely.
And there's a lot of that, man, on media, period. Not just YouTube. YouTube is just a manifestation of all the other crap.
That's
but,
true.
you talking about, like you said, people getting killed on Facebook. You see clips of Facebook, oh, I'm live. And the next thing you know, pow, and the phone drop on the ground.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, what kind of world are we living in, man, where, I mean, you can actually find yourself dead while going live.
Yeah. These inner cities have turned into a war zone. It's been this way for a while, but the incidences seem to be increasing, and we really got a big problem in America. There's a question whether we will survive much further. What would our financial situation look like? What would our families look like? I mean, I don't, I'm keep it PG, but the definition of family has changed so much. What is it going to look like in 10 years? And we've seen these generational change. I mean, anybody in here over 30, especially 40s and 50s, we've seen things just really descend into chaos to where it was a time where you could actually leave your front door open. The most you would hear about is a knife attack. You wouldn't hear about any gun violence. There was a time where, you could leave the bicycle in the front yard. I'm talking about in the inner city. I'm not talking about in the suburb, in the inner city. Now you can't trust anyone or anything. And anytime you walk outside, you have to be ready for war.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I
Mhm.
mean, I was in New York City like 2 months ago, because I go to New York City like every few months. And it seems like every time I go there, it looks a little worse, you know.
Yeah.
And because I be in the hood, I'll be in the hood, because my man got the institute over there. So that's like a shining star, in the middle of all that chaos.
Yeah.
There's a shining star there. So that's where I go. And when I come out of there, I look around and I see things slowly degrading. Slowly, especially when I head up, man, and I go uptown, man, and it's like you see so much craziness, man. The police are every damn where.
Yeah.
You can't drive 2 blocks without the police speeding through and damn near hitting your car.
Right.
Like it's just crazy, man. And me, I've always tried to give our people the benefit of the doubt. That's something I've always tried to do. But I'm glad I live in the burbs, in the rural areas, even here in North Carolina, because Negroes down here is crazy too. All right, they ain't no different from cities up north. When you talk about Chicago, you talk about Newark, New Jersey, New York City, the Negroes down here are no different. The only difference is the city is smaller.
Yeah. And
that's the only difference.
What city are you in? What city are you in?
Yeah, I'm in Mecklenburg. I'm right outside of Charlotte.
Oh, okay.
And Charlotte is a small city, right? It's the 15th biggest city in the United States. It's number 15, right? And some parts of it, don't get me wrong, it's a beautiful place. Mecklenburg is beautiful, all right? But there's parts here, there's parts in this damn county, man, you don't want to be caught dead in. You don't want to be there. You don't want to live there. You don't. You don't want to live there because it done got so insane, all right? They shooting folks and snatching them out their cars and running them over after they done shot them and stole their car, and also kind of foolishness is going on, all right? But I think it got worse after the pandemic, after the COVID thing.
Yeah.
Things got worse.
Yeah. In Chicago, carjackings increased, I want to say 400% or 500% since the pandemic and during the pandemic. And now you have 12 and 13, 14-year-olds carjacking. And it's just unbelievable. Unbelievable, man. And women, it's not just men, carjacking as well. And then I saw some numbers that this wasn't a Chicago thing, but in every city in America, robberies and carjackings have increased.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know exactly what happened in the psyche that says, you know what? Let's make things worse. Something is like you're going along in 2019, and it's like something just happened like almost overnight. And then you've seen a sharp rise in all types of crimes across the board. Across the board. Unbelievable.
Yeah, man. It's like have me cleaning my guns more often than I normally would.
Oh, And Carolina is I think it's they
it's open carry. It's open carry. You can carry your shit like Clint Eastwood, and guess what I do?
I love that.
All right. And that shit on my side. And because this what you're dealing with, Negroes. You get to see what you up against. There ain't gonna be no. It's not hidden. All right, it's not a surprise. When you look up, you already know this is what you're dealing with. And boy, I'm fast on the draw, Negroes. I've been practicing.
Yep.
I've been practicing because Negroes is crazy. But see, me, I live outside of all of that kind of crap. No, I don't live in the hood. I mean, I don't live in the hood because I wouldn't. I wouldn't live around them crazy Negroes shooting folks and doing all this kind of foolishness. I don't want to live around that. I got too many people in my house to protect.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Got too many people in my house to protect. So I don't even want to put them in there. If you done ran up in my shit, that means you done came from somewhere else and came here. So, I mean, yeah, it's just lesser of a threat and all that kind of stuff. And I hear people talk this old crap all the time. Yeah, man, as soon as y'all make some money, y'all get out of the hood. You're goddamn right, motherfucker. I can afford to not live in that motherfucker. All right? I can afford to not live there, motherfucker.
Right.
Yeah. I got my wife here. My nephew lives with me now. My grandson is here. I mean, I got too many people to protect. All right. To have them in the middle of bullshit and hearing gunshots all night. I mean, I just can't do it. Call me what you want to call me a sellout, call me whatever the fuck you want. All right. Just don't call me after 11 o'clock at night, motherfucker, because the phone gonna be on.
You got time.
But yeah, just don't call me after 11 o'clock because my phone gonna be on vibrate. God damn it. So how about it? You're out there in Chi-Town. I mean, what's it like? Like, I mean, what's it like for you? Like when you go out, you gotta have the heat on the seat. You gotta have the what? I mean, or do you not have to worry about that because you're away from that shit?
Well, it's kind of a little bit of both. I have to come into the city for work and relatives in the city. I spend part of my time in the city and I spend part of my time living in the suburbs. So it's a mixed bag for me. Generally, I carry a weapon with me. Glock 17, I'm sorry to be exact. And that's my girlfriend. I call her Glockisha. It's my baby. So, I have her with me most of the time. And, I'm not afraid to pull out and do what I need to do with her if the, situation calls for it. In Chicago, if she's not with me, Glockisha, I really do feel like at a disadvantage because at any time somebody can roll up on you at a light. Here, I don't know about other cities and other states, but in Chicago, they have a lot of expressway shootings. So you're just on the expressway, you're on the highway, and somehow people end up getting shot. Weird stuff because you're going at a high rate of speed, trying to go to your destination. You're not hanging out on the expressway. But a lot of expressway shootings, a lot of robberies, a lot of carjackings. I would really have to say, I've heard people say, Brother Xavier, that Chicago ain't as bad as people say it is on the media. I disagree. I don't know where these people are living at, but I don't like hearing sirens every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So I would have to say that Chicago is every bit as bad as they say it is on television. Every bit as bad. Every bit. But some people get immune to.
You get used to hearing people get shot. You get used to hearing sirens. You get used to, all this kind of crap. But I mean, according to the data, though, they say that Chicago isn't even the worst city because if you put them together per capita, I think it's Baltimore or St. Louis.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's what they say. They don't even say that Chicago is the most dangerous city. It's like number 4. I think St. Louis, Baltimore, and some other damn city. I think in Indiana or somewhere else in Illinois.
Yeah, but what they miss is they're right when it comes to the amount of murders. You have cities that are a lot more dangerous, and when I mean a lot more, I'm talking about maybe let's say Chicago has 520 murders. A place may have 531. But what they always miss, Brother X, is this one stat. And having a background in law enforcement is called the Uniform Crime Reports. And the FBI uses this, police department uses this. What they miss is that places like Chicago is number one when it comes to armed robberies, thefts, and burglaries. So the percentage of murders may be slightly smaller, but overall crime, Chicago is right at the top.
Yeah.
Right at the top, especially when it comes to robberies, burglaries, and carjackings. Now that stuff is exponential. So it's one of the worst cities when it comes to that. You own something, you got to be careful. I mean, we have a lot of people who own street pharmaceuticals, people who are not on street pharmaceuticals, trying to take any and everything that's not nailed down. And of course, with the, certain, pharmaceuticals on the street, I want to mention the name because we're on YouTube. It's a big epidemic of it. I'll give you the first three letters, FEN, and it kind of rhymes with Tylenol. So there's a big outbreak and epidemic of that in Chicago, and that's making people just go straight crazy. A lot of people passing away from using it and just going crazy for it. So it's a lot of that.
Yeah, well, I understand the whole per capita thing because I believe Chicago is like the third largest city in this country, I believe, right? Like the third largest. So those other cities are pretty small. So, their per capita killing murder rate is much higher percentage wise, even though the numbers are greater in Chicago. So I get that part of it. But I think that, well, let me ask you, then I'll say what I think. What do you think stops what goes on in, not just Chicago, but all the other cities like Baltimore, St. Louis? I mean, what stops all this killing and murder and shooting and shit? What stops it?
Honestly, I'm quite cynical, a pessimist. I think we hit that point of no return. I think that this type of dysfunction behavior is so rooted in the culture of our youth. And we're probably responsible because I remember, being a product of the late 80s and early 90s with the whole, gangster rap, and not just the rap. The rap wasn't the problem, because it was just a reflection of what was going on in the street. But when we started to have children, we didn't teach them anything. It's like we weren't taught hardly anything as far as civilization is concerned, and actually the science behind, family and community. So it's so deeply rooted in the culture. I'll give an example. I asked a young guy, I said, hey, man, because I grew up, I was a teenager in the 90s. And I remember in the 90s, if there was a problem in the neighborhood and you had two factions going to war, I remember distinctly because this happened to me a few times. You would hear the OG say, hey, y'all get in the house. It's going to be some drama. Y'all need to get in the house. It's going to be some stuff. They would warn us to get out of the way and get in the house. So I asked the guy, I said, hey, man, a lot of guys, young guys are going, and shooting a lot of innocent people, not on purpose, but, y'all just shooting at crowds of people indiscriminately. And I said, I understand getting the person that you want, the person that you have beef with, the person you into it with. But why would you just shoot at a crowd of people with innocent folks in it? And his reply to me was, Brother X, is because we want everybody to feel it. We want everybody to know that we mean business. Even the grandmama, the baby, everybody needs to feel their wrath. That's how these guys feel. Now, again, in the 90s and the 80s and the 70s and the 60s, even when you were doing wrong, there was a right way to go about it. I'm saying this again. Yeah. Even when you were doing wrong, there was a right way to go about it. You didn't mess with kids. You didn't mess with the elderly. I remember times where the D-boys on the block would actually take care of people, keep the block clean. And I know that's kind of hard to fathom. But you've even seen it in some movies. Sometimes the D boys will, take care of people who didn't have anything, give them some little money, keep the block clean, and all of those things. But all of that changed, and it changed rapidly to where nobody cares about anything. There was a code, there was honor, there was a certain amount of respect, there was a hierarchy, there was leadership. Now in the street, it's pretty much, one small group against another small group. This faction against that faction. There's no more structure. There's more leadership. So my point is that these things are so deeply rooted in the culture that it's beyond fixing. You would have to do something extreme. And I know we on YouTube, so I'm gonna say this a certain way. So hopefully you guys can catch what I'm saying. Because you got to break up your words a little bit. But anyway, you would have to exterminate.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be the only way to fix things. Other than that, the cancer is too deep in that's too deeply rooted. It's almost past surgical removal to where it's spread so wide. I mean, that's just what the culture is, and they don't respect anyone or anybody, young or old. Just what the Bible said would happen in these days. They won't respect the older or the young, and this is what we see today. The youth are completely out of control, and it's heartbreaking to see somebody that's young enough to be your son or your grandson in all this type of mischief.
Yeah,
kids, and the worst part, Brother X, is that I can see, as I said, if it was gang member on gang member, but they're shooting the retired postal worker who worked the job 40 years to take care of his family. Now he's sitting at home trying to enjoy himself on the way to the grocery store. A true story, gets killed by a bunch of kids. That's how real it is. Yeah. So it's a different thing to where in the 80s and the 90s, and more so 90s and the 80s and the early 2000s, where they got the person they were looking for. Now 2-year-olds, 4-year-olds, it's completely indiscriminate. So that's when you have to say, man, you know what, something has to change. And if knowing that they're not going to change, you have to try to change. My goal is to one day, if I make it most high willing, to leave Chicago and possibly America, because it's just too much. A person shouldn't have to live like this. Yeah. You go to work every day, pay your taxes and pay your bills and pay your mortgage for what? To be shot at? And it's so bad, Brother X. A lot of people are killed while they're in their homes from a bullet coming from outside. And nothing be worse than that, because your house is supposed to be a safe haven. It's supposed to be a place of comfort, a place of protection, away from the world. You're supposed to be able to shut your door and shut the world out. No, not in Chicago. I'm not saying it's not like that in other cities. I'm sure it's like that in other cities too. But you can't shut the world out in Chicago. It's coming right there in there with you. You in the bed, sleep, and that's it for you. Didn't bother anybody. Do nothing bad to anybody. Mind your business, paying your taxes, going to work every day. And that's what hurts me. When a everyday hardworking person, decent citizen, has to worry about this. And then the politicians are so corrupt, they point fingers. These liberal democratic states that Black folk love so much, they're extremely soft on crime. As soon as Thuggo get locked up, they want to let them right back out the back door. No accountability for any of these things. You get a slap on the wrist. I believe in having the freedom and the right to bear arms. But a convicted felon, no. You robbed somebody before with your weapon. You don't deserve to have one. But instead of prosecuting those people to the fullest extent of the law, they give them house arrest. House arrest for people who've murdered. So democratic states like Chicago, New York, they are hard on your everyday civilian. They're hard on citizens, but easy going on criminals.
Oh yeah.
Now it's a systemic problem where the only solution is to get far away from these ninjas as possible. Yeah. These politicians are just as bad.
Yeah, you got to get away, man. And I know, especially up here on YouTube, you always got people talking about, man, we got to get in there. We got to mentor. We got to do this and we got to do that. Man, none of that shit ain't gonna work for certain places. Certain places you can get it in, do whatever you want, and see, this is the thing, right?
Mhm.
The people in these communities who actually will look out for people in communities, and they may have a little shop set up where they look out and they give people credit and stuff like that. Those are the people who end up getting shot. The people who actually give a shit about trying to fix something. They see hope in the city, and a lot of those people are the people who end up getting killed, man. Because that shit bothers me too, man. When you got innocent folks who have nothing to do with anything, they're not in a gang, they're not shooting anyone, they're not doing anything. These are probably the people who done helped a couple of you Negroes' mamas out a time or two, and he ends up dead, shot in the street by one of you fools. That's the kind of stuff that I just think is absurd, man. Like, I mean, that's why I'm with you. That's why I'm away from all of that. All right. And pretty soon I'm about to get further away.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, I'm getting further out. Because I got the boys here now.
Yeah.
All right. I got the boys here now.
Yeah.
So I got to do it, man. I got to get further.
Brother
Further.
X, if anybody who has to bring their sons up in the inner city, you asking for a short lifespan for your boys.
Yeah.
Or imprisonment for 20, 30, 40, 50 plus years. Because it's extremely difficult for today's youth to stay away from the trouble. You would have to be an extremely exceptional child, especially boys, to stay away from the riffraff. Extremely exceptional. Because of peer pressure. And if everybody around you is doing one thing, what are you going to do? You're going to do the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
that's the only way. It's the only way you'll be able to fit in. You're doing this craziness.
Absolutely. So you have to have an amount of bravery, resilience, and be exceptional not to fall into those particular traps, which is extremely difficult for someone to do. Because most people don't want to be an outlier. And, it's considered weak. And it could be to your detriment to be an outlier because now you could be preyed upon possibly.
True. Well, let's talk about the people who get away from this crap. These people are referred to as sellouts. These people are referred to as Sambos, and they don't care about the hood. They don't care about black folks. They don't care about this, that, and the other thing. And I think the people that say this about these people, I think they're totally ridiculous. And I'll tell you why. Because if a person has come from a city that's just horrible, Detroit, New York, Chicago, St. Louis, Baltimore, and they were able to make it and get away from there and get a good life, I don't think they've turned their back on anyone. What they've done is they've blazed a trail for others to follow.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's just a path to follow, because that's the idea. Isn't that the idea, to get away from the crap? I mean, isn't that the idea, as opposed to living in the crap and trying to fix it?
Absolutely. The first law of nature is self-preservation, man. I don't want to come home and deal with that. No, I don't care how it makes me look as far as fitting in or being with the people. And here go the thing, man. I'm for the people. Love my people, man. I just can't live around them. It's not every day when you meet an intelligent, well-to-do, melanated person. I'm not saying they're not out there. I'm talking about within a certain age range. Of course, if you get older, it's a little bit different. But being around the youth of today, no, nobody wants that. Your grandmama not safe. You're not safe. Your granddaddy ain't. Nobody's safe. So if you want to live, you need to get away. And if you have, again, small children, especially boys, asking for trouble if you raising those boys in the inner city. In fact,
Yeah.
Brother X, I want to say that it's child abuse because you're giving your child essentially no chance. No chance.
Yeah.
That person may more than likely grow up to hurt themselves or somebody else. It's hard to make it in the inner city, especially a place like Chicago.
Yeah. And people still move there. I mean, I was looking at a story. It's been a while, and this girl had moved there, and she had just moved there not too long before. She ended up, of course, getting shot and killed.
Wow.
She was a mother, and she had actually moved to Chicago
Oh, wow.
um, from somewhere else. And I'm saying to myself, why the hell would you move to
Yeah, to Chicago. You people
Chicago?
to move out of Chicago,
Yeah, like
not
why
to
would you move
Chicago.
into, into this freaking Beirut like a war
Yeah.
zone of a place? Why would you do it? Especially when you have children. Um, I couldn't imagine moving my children into a place that I'm always seeing on the news. I'm always hearing about people getting murdered there. Oh, guess what? I'm going to move there. We're moving there, y'all. Like, I just don't understand that kind of stuff.
You, you
I'm
know what?
thinking. Go ahead.
You know what? I've met women who are from other places, and they say they love Chicago. Don't get me wrong; it's the nightlife here is nice. You can find clubs that's open 3, 4, 5 in the morning. If you're well-to-do, there's plenty of activities, plenty of things for you to indulge in. But of course, that violence is always a factor. Um, a lot of people just want to be where it's happening at. I
Yeah.
mean, me, I've always listen, Brother X. I've always lived in the city. I'm not a country boy, right? Born and raised in the inner city, west side of Chicago, my whole life. But I'm still, even though I've never been in the country, I'm a country boy. I'm the type of person, and you can tell me if you're this way as well, because you're in you're in the South per se.
hmm
I'm the type of guy that I want a couple of acres because I think it's unnatural to live in an apartment complex or live with a neighbor next to you. To me, that feels unnatural. Although I've never
Yeah.
experienced anything else. I want to be able to have a couple of acres to move around. If I decide to get a couple of dogs, I want to be able to have my dogs be able to run around on my acres. I want to be able to go and pick a salad out of my garden. I want to be able to go take my fishing rod on my own pond and, throw the bait in there and
Yeah.
grab me, some perch out of there, some whiting out of there, and go right to my grill. Now I got vegetables that's freshly picked from the vine. I got fish right out the pond. You can't get fresher than that. No shipping, no preservatives, none of that. And when it gets dark, I want to be pitch black to where I can't see the hand in front of my face. I want my neighbors to be way over there where they would have to
Yeah.
scream and yell in order to hear them. I still probably couldn't hear them. That's the kind of life for me.
hmm
But a lot of people want to be in close spaces, shoulder to shoulder with people, but I'm just not that social. So I think the allure of Chicago, although it's a lot of things going on, people still want to move here because the social scene is pretty nice. But I don't need that. I don't need that. I can't imagine. I wish I could. But for everybody out there that's living this type of life, salute to you, to where you don't have to hear anything at night but crickets. It's quiet. You can hear a pin drop, and you don't have to go outside and see 100 people. You may
Yeah.
not even see one person if you go outside and do a 360. But
Yeah.
Chicago is just unnatural. So I think, having said that, Brother X, when you live in confined spaces in a city, I think that adds to the frustration and the aggravation and the violence because you're so compressed and compacted that it adds to that. It makes you want to be more violent. Now you feel like it is a struggle for survival. Now you feel that you have to compete more. People from New York are highly competitive. You ever noticed that? People
Yeah.
from Chicago and California are very, very competitive. That's that big city thing. So it's the automatic stress level that comes with that. And a lot of people want to be right in the middle of the BS. Me personally, I'm a country boy who's never been to the country.
Yeah. Yeah, well, see, I was fortunate, man. I was raised by Southerners. I mean, I was my parents' first child born in New York because my parents are from down here. All
Oh,
right.
okay.
My parents are from the South. They moved to New York right before they had me.
Mm.
So like I have seven other brothers and sisters that are older than me. They were all born down here. I wasn't. My father moved up to New York. My mother moved up to New York for work, right? And they had me like, I don't know, like a year after they got there. So
Mm.
I'm like one of the only one of my parents' kids that doesn't have a Southern accent because see, they were all born down here, and there's like 8 years between me and my next to oldest sibling. So they was raised down here, played down here, went to school down here. I came first from New York, so I'm the only like New Yorker out of the clan. Me and my younger sister. The rest of
Mm.
them are Southerners, straight Southerners. But I knew I would always end up back down here.
Yeah.
I always knew I would end up back in the sticks, right?
Mm.
Because even though we lived in New York, we lived in like the rural parts of New York. We didn't live in like New York City. We lived in the rural parts of New York. We had chickens, ducks, pigs, goddamn a goat one time. My father had hunting dogs and all that kind of shit. So, I never lived like in the city as coming up in my parents' house because we always lived in the country part of New York, right? We
Mm.
always lived there. So, I mean, and my father was straight Geechee. So we hunted, we fished, we went out on boats. I mean, we would fish for blackfish, sharks, goddamn, all kinds of shit, whiting,
Mhm.
perch, flounder. I mean,
Wow.
we caught all that shit out on the ocean. So
Mm.
I mean, I can fillet a fish, I can skin a
I was just
deer.
about to ask you that.
Shit, man, I can fucking defeather a chicken, chop his head off, gut him, do all that shit, man.
Ooh.
I was
Wow.
doing that shit when I was like 8 years old because of who I was raised by.
Yeah.
My father's a Geechee from Macon, Georgia. All
Mm.
right. That's where my people are from. So shit, man, I skin a turkey, skin a damn chicken, gut them, all of that. Skin a deer, do all that shit, man. A goose, rabbit, all of that. Doing
Mm.
that shit ever since I was a kid. Shit,
Wow.
have done it recently. Done it like 2 years ago. Yeah, matter of
Wow.
fact, 2 years ago.
So you
Yeah,
could field dress a deer?
absolutely. Doesn't matter what it is. Shit, I can take any fish you give me and fillet it, boy. I motherfucker be completely boneless.
Wow.
Boy, I got a set of fillet knives, boy, that'll blow your mind, brother Black Ram. It will blow your mind, brother Black Ram. Shout out to my brother Great Britain, with another $10 super chat. Appreciate that, brother Great Britain. He said, I don't even think twice about it. I had to give those that bear my last name a fighting chance. They couldn't go through what I went through. My kids in the burbs in magnet program. That's being a man. I understand, brother Great Britain. I appreciate that coin drop. You know you're going to get this all night. Uh-oh. A big coin drop on this platform. Yeah, man. Appreciate that, brother. Great Britain. Yeah, man. This summer I took the boys fishing because I got like 10 fishing rods, because I always loved to fish, man. I've been fishing ever since I was about 7. It's
Mm.
just that here there's not a lot of great places to fish locally. So when you go to fish here, it's got to be a plan because the closest good fishing spot is like 2 hours away. It's not like you can't just drive for like 10, 15 minutes and you have to fish. Oh, no. If you want to fish somewhere good like uh, Lake Norman, Lake Wiley, that's just like 2.5 hours away from where I live at. So when we go fishing, it's a fishing trip,
Yeah.
because it's like a 2-3 hour drive to get to the fishing hole. So there is that. I guess that's why I don't go as much. You know, that's why I don't go as much. But I like it down here, man. I've been down here since 2014. I talked to my brother the other day, and he was like, "Man, you ever coming back to New York?" I said, "Hell no, never, never." Number one, they have a winter there, which I don't.
Yeah.
All right, I don't want to be anywhere where there's a winter. Like down here,
it's rough too, man.
there is no winter here. When everyone's getting snow, we get a few drops of rain, which I can live with. Yeah, I can live with it. Yeah, man. That winter shit, because before I came down here, I was actually living in Hudson Valley, upstate, where it's like 9 months of winter and 3 months of summer. There's nothing in between. No spring, no fall. You just go from winter to summer, winter to summer. And man, I'm talking the winters are brutal. I said, I cannot, I will never be, I will never be in that kind of weather again. You know, the South has been good to me, man. I started my business down here. All right. It's grown down here. It provides for my family down here. Man, I ain't leaving this shit. Why would I leave this shit? Absolutely not. I'm never leaving. If I leave, it's gonna be in a box. I mean, yeah, I like it down here. You know, my wife likes it down here. You know, the boys, they like it down here. I have no reason to leave. If anything, I'm going further south, not further north. Yeah, absolutely not. I have no intention of going. Absolutely,
it's over with for the north.
Yeah, that's the north is done. Like I said, they have winter. The only thing that's going to stop, the only thing that would have me go back to New York is if winter stops, and I know that's not going to happen. So, no. But let me ask you this, man. Do you think that we as Black folks, have we devolved as a people on a whole? Like, you know, not just the Chicagos and the Detroits and the New Yorks and the, you know, St. Louis's and Baltimore's, but I'm talking about Black people in the aggregate, man. Have we devolved as a people?
Man, that's a great question. The evolution of a people. But real quick, Great Britain and the Mega Dreads. I see these brothers in the chat. I ain't seen you guys on my channel in a while. I don't know if I come on too early, but I haven't seen Great Britain and the Mega Dreads over at my channel in quite a while, man. Where you brothers at? Where y'all been, man? I didn't see y'all.
That's because they be here, man. They be over here.
Okay.
Be at my house.
You grab them from me. Okay, I'm I see my brother Clue and I believe Cortez Smith in here. Love those brothers. But yeah, brother, I believe we have seen overall devolution. And here's how we can prove it, right? We can prove it. Now, I'm an old school cat. You know, I grew up, again, I was a teenager in the 90s, a young man, very young man in the 80s. Something that you don't hear anymore, right? At least brand new. Brother, actually remember how just jamming and smoking the love songs were in the 60s, man. I'm talking about, man, they put their heart into it. And think about the soulfulness in the love songs that came out of the 70s. And let's look at how that fast beat, that pop type of love songs that came out in the 80s with your Princes and your Michael Jacksons, you know, from the Temptations and the Four Tops to your Princes and your Michael Jacksons and all of that, right? Well, where are the love songs today? Black men and women don't talk about being in love anymore. The conversation is about the bag. I hear you, Cool. You say you're on a Patreon page. I appreciate that, dear brother. It's about the bag now. It's about what you can do for me. It's about providing and protecting. Nothing about love. Nothing about how you feel about a person, your emotions. I thought it was all for love, but it's not for love anymore. So much so that it's not talked about. Again, when have you heard a love song? Indigenous said the WAP.
Yeah.
But a love song. Right. That's the new love song, right? But when was the last time you heard a real soulful love song, something new? right? What happened? What happened to the R&B genre? I don't hear R&B no more. I
Yeah.
hear, I'm gonna shoot you. We're gonna lay in this bed together. I got this money.
Yeah. That's
Not
it.
I'm in love with you. Let's have a family together. Let's grow old together. None of that. There are no more Minnie Ripertons, no more Patrice Russians. It's over with. Now we got, Nicki and Cardi. Think about the type of person Patrice Russian is and Minnie Riperton was. I mean, you could really see beauty in these women. Well, where is it at now? So for us as Black folks, all you have to do is listen to our music to see where we at. That's all you got to do. You got to go far. Listen to our music. It'll tell you the story right where we at. The 70s told you a story about our liberation and how we increased our consciousness coming over from the 60s. The 60s was about our fight and our struggle with civil rights. The 80s was about us pretty much to a degree for a short term, Brother X, victorious. What I mean by victorious in the 80s, we had a lot of intact communities then. We're starting to become educated. We're starting to buy homes on a large scale, on massive levels. So 60s was about the struggle. 70s was about, more freedom, more love. 80s pop culture. 90s took a turn. It started becoming more about sex than love. Started to become more about not unity, but fighting each other. And we have this devolution that we see now in the latter 2000s, to where there's no more love, no more togetherness, no more unity. There's no more James Brown, I'm black and I'm proud. It's gang now.
Yeah.
gang. And yeah, so we have took major steps, Brother X, major steps backwards, man. Major steps backwards. To where, again, a point of no return. And again, all you have to do is listen to our music and it'll tell you exactly where we at. And let me just give another shout out to Cortez Smith. Their brothers everywhere that I met for the second week in a row. Shout out to Cortez Smith for hanging tough with me.
I think you're right. Because life often imitates art, right?
Mm-hmm.
Art often imitates life. So, if the quote unquote art is nothing but death, destruction, and deviancy, it's a reflection of the life, right? Death, destruction, deviancy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost as if this is where we wanted it to be.
Yeah.
This is what we wanted to happen.
Yeah.
Because you don't see pushback against, this quote unquote, like you said, where we are, the death, destruction, and deviancy. You don't see pushback against that.
No,
What you see is excuses being made for it most of the time.
Yeah, I think the last pushback, Brother X, was I think that was the late 80s when KRS-One and a bunch of rappers from New York came out with Self-Destruction, and then after that was the last pushback. Oh, and I see my big brother in here, BGS Ibmore in the building. Shout out to my other big bro. Good to see you, big brother BGS. But yeah, I think that was the last time that we saw a pushback when KRS-One and a group of New Yorkers talked about self-destruction, and then we all in the same gang on the West Coast in California with a lot of the so-called gangster rappers at the time, and that was pretty much it. I mean, of course, you had Public Enemy, but that was like a small window right there, small window. And of course, before that, you had the love and the unity of the 60s. And I kind of almost hate that I was born when I was born, because I heard the 60s and 70s, although you had a lot of stuff going on, that really was black love. You know,
Yeah.
it was black love. And I can't imagine the black love that existed in the 70s. I mean, you know, with the afros, I'm black and I'm proud, glad to be who I am. That had to be a beautiful time. And of course, the 80s was a little bit more like that. And then we start going back to more of the self-hate with the Jerry curl, which I had one, with the the Michael Jackson era. It kind of took us saying, well, we need to look more European now. And I remember that around that time, that's when the light-skinned guys were in. Now it's the dark-skinned guys again.
Yeah, we've taken quite a few steps back, man, and unfortunately, man, I think it's going to get worse, you know, for most places before it gets better. And when you say that kind of stuff, people, oh man, that's a defeatist mindset. No, it's not, man. It's a mindset of I'm going by what I see. Yeah. All right, I don't see all this massive improvement, and I have to go here, right? Because we all know that, you know, the women are the quote unquote keepers of the culture, right? So where you have the women pushing this kind of culture, I believe, all right, they push it because this is what they gravitate to. And in kind, what do? They push this culture off onto their children, and the children grow up embracing it. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Because we know, let's be honest here. We know that let's talk about the crime and shit. Let's start there, right? Let's start with the murdering and all this kind of nonsense. We know that if we get one of these little murder fools and put him in a room and tie him to a chair and waterboard his ass, guess what he will be telling us about his mama, about how she raised him, about what he grew up in, about what he was around, about what type of music she played, about the dudes that came in and out the house.
Now that's the point right there, because people don't understand the trauma that causes to see mama with different dudes. It's heartbreaking for a young boy. Heartbreaking to see that. I didn't have that experience, but the brothers that I grew up with that had that experience, is heartbreaking, because as a little boy, you see a strange man, you think in danger. And it may be some type of abuse that may be going on. That's extremely traumatic for a young boy. And I think that point right there starts up the hatred for other men right there, because you don't want this man banging your mama. It's not your daddy. It's not your daddy. So that's no. And you notice, Brother X, nobody talk about that trauma that causes. Having growing up as a boy, having a promiscuous mother, that is traumatic. And that's something that nobody really ever speaks on.
Nope. And what they do is they superimpose this traumatic instance on this boy over and over and over and over. Every time you turn around, it's a new guy in there. Every time you turn around, you wake up to go to the bathroom, it's some strange dude in the house. Yeah. Like, I mean, you can't say that doesn't have an effect on people. And people, because you know me, I'm really, really tough on these old mamas. I give them no wiggle room. You know that, Brother Black Ram. I give them no wiggle room. No wiggle room. And people will try to say, oh man, none of that matters. You know, you're grown now, blah, blah, blah. BS. You're growing up as a young boy or a young girl, and you're watching the person who you love and trust, who's responsible for you, responsible for your mind frame, your ideology, all of that, your point of thought, and you're watching this person do all this ridiculous stuff as a child. A lot of it you don't understand.
Yeah, that's a fact.
So as you start to grow, you start to gain some degree of understanding of it, even if it's warped. and you looking at yourself because what? You see yourself in her, right? She's the only parent you have. So you watch her as a child to learn how to be an adult.
Right.
So you're learning how to be an adult, but you're learning how to be a dysfunctional ass adult because she's a dysfunctional person.
Right.
She's a dysfunctional parent. So you're learning all this crap, right? I talked about this last night. I did a show called Destroying Children's Financial Future, where you got these women, they got the 5-year-old, the lights, the cable, the gas, the waters in their name. And I talked about a friend of mine who said that when he went to go get his first house, come to find out mom had $4,000-$5,000 worth of lights and collections in his name, like $1,000 worth of water in his name. So you have this dysfunction that you're growing up in, and you basically have to freaking survive it for the most part. You have to survive it. But shout out to BGS, the master teacher, for the $5 super chat. He says shout out to Ibmore, number 3, Black Wham 313. I appreciate that super chat. Brother BGS, you get this. I appreciate you dropping your hard-earned coins on this platform.
Shout out to the big bro once again, BGS.
Absolutely.
Big bro.
And people are trying to convince us that, this single motherhood shit ain't that bad. People are trying to convince us of it, man. And I'll go here. I'll let the good minister Jap ask this question of you good folks and to you, Brother Black Ram.
No, sell it to the people. Sell it to the people and sell it to the world. You tell us single motherhood is good. How have we benefited from single motherhood? Some of you niggas just survived it. You just survived it.
So, I'd like anybody who has the answer to that question, please put it in the chat. How have we benefited from single motherhood, y'all? Now, maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm just an old Negro who doesn't understand anything. I don't understand the world. Will somebody please put that answer in the chat? I'll be waiting. I don't think there is an answer, though, Brother Black Ram.
Nope,
I don't think there's an answer. Yeah,
no benefit, only a detriment.
Yes.
Only detriment.
Yes. I think it has hurt us, man, more than anything else.
Facts.
Now, this is what I believe. I believe that if we get a handle on this single motherhood crap, we get a handle on that, we can get a handle on poverty. We get a handle on poverty, we can get a handle on crime. We get a handle on crime, we can get a handle on incarceration. And if we get a handle on incarceration, what's the next step? The next step is education. Because those people who are rotting in prisons might just be in a school somewhere, might just be in a vocational program somewhere. So if we get a whole, if we was to drop single motherhood to, I'm not saying totally eliminate it because that's going to be virtually impossible. But if we were to be able to drop it to 30%, say it was 30% instead of 70%, do you know that shit would put a dent in poverty damn near overnight?
Yeah.
Put a dent in crime and damn near overnight? Because I believe poverty is the motherhood of crime. I don't believe it's an excuse for crime, but it is the motherhood of crime. Because if you go to where the most fucking crime is taking place, that's probably a place where there's a lot of poverty.
Absolutely.
All right. I'm pretty sure. Now people will say, oh, well, you know, middle class and rich people, oh, they commit crimes too, X. Yes, I know that. But percentage wise, you're going to find most of the crime where Negroes is broke. That's just the truth. You can deny it, you can do all this shit. Most of the crime is going to be around places where people don't have a lot. That's where it's going to be. So if you knock down the poverty, because we know what's the biggest percentage of people who live in poverty? Single mothers with children. That's the biggest percentage of poverty-stricken people, whether they be black, white, green, from Mars, orange. That's your biggest population of people who are impoverished. Single mothers with children, hands down. So if you knock this down, you knock this single motherhood down, man, guess what? You're going to knock poverty down. Knock poverty down, crime is going to go down. Crime go down, incarceration is going to go down. That's just what it is, man. It seems pretty basic to me. But what do I know? I'm an old Negro. I may not understand the world we live in today. But I say again, this type of stuff, man, this type of stuff doesn't get pushed back, right? And the people who do push back on this type of stuff, they're called coons and sellouts and Sambos and you just want to be like white folks and all this kind of stuff. Why is it that people think you want to be like white folks just because you want a decent life?
Right. Great point. Great point.
Only white people can have that. I want to show you something because, you know, we're going to wrap up soon because we creeping up on almost 2 hours. And I know you just did a show, goddammit. So I'm not going to keep you all night. But I want to show you something, Brother Black Ram.
All right.
And I keep this up for a reason. Now, these babies behind me here, okay? The reason why I have this mural that I just keep on deck, because these are 4 of, I believe, I don't know, the dozen or so children that were killed during the 4th of July weekend last year, right? In fact, little Natalie Wallace here, where my hand is, I actually had her father on my show. His name is Nathan Wallace. Yeah, he came on my show in a while. This was maybe 3 months after she had been killed. And I was surprised to hear the brother say that his baby getting killed didn't convince him to want to leave Chicago.
Wow.
Because he said he loves the city, right? Now, like I said, when I spoke to him, it was maybe like 3 months after little baby Natalie had been murdered, right? And they did finally catch the dudes, right? They finally caught the dudes who shot her and killed her. They're in jail where they belong. Hopefully somebody shanked their ass, okay? Somebody should shank them in the shower multiple times to make sure the job is done. But I say again, I was surprised that this, you know, didn't make him want to, you know, get up out of there. And he said that the reason why he don't want to leave is because this is where everybody is, like you said, and he loves the city. And I think that's probably the thing for all these babies' parents that are behind me here. They are living in a place that they know is dangerous. Danger has knocked on their front door, taken one of their babies' lives, but still they remain. So I wonder what is so powerful, what is so prolific, like I mean, if man, one of my the people was to get shot somewhere, man, I'll be packing up that next day.
Right, right.
But they choose not to leave, even though these little beautiful children, man, are dead, and they choose not to leave. They want to stay there. Maybe they think lightning can't strike twice, because a lot of these people, these kids were one of 3 of their children or 4 of their children, and maybe they think lightning won't strike twice. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. And like I said, when I talked to the brother that night, I was like, I told him, I said, man, if you ever need anything, no matter what it is, money to move, you call me. I gave him my number. You call me. I'll have that shit to your ass, and as fast as I get down to Western Union or Cash App you this shit. You hit me up and say, X, I need to move.
Right.
Brother, you got it. You got it. No questions asked. And guess what? It ain't a loan. It ain't a loan. It's a grant. I guess. Yeah, it's a grant, not a loan. I don't want it back. If you're going to get your babies out of the shit that took these babies, I got your back. All right? No ifs, ands, or buts about it. So let me ask you, man, because like I said, we about to get out of here, man. Because I know you're a father, right?
Absolutely.
You're a father.
Yes, sir.
Do you fear for the life of your children?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I have a daughter who's 19 and always very concerned, because Chicago, again, is a very, very violent place. And I'm aware of all of the dangers that exist. And, you know, sometimes your children may be somewhat, you know, clueless, for lack of a better word, as Clue drops a super chat to exactly the reality of the situation. And as far as leaving here, what I've noticed is that sometimes, and I'm not disrespecting the brother because I don't know who he is, sometimes people just like to stay in the midst of the chaos. I'm sure this happens to everybody who's in this live stream, and this probably happened to you as well, Brother X. You've met people who live in squalor-like conditions. You come in, clothes all over the floor, house ain't been cleaned, dishes haven't been washed, not in days, but months and weeks. Hoarders, you know, you have, you know, dead rodents maybe in the house. And somehow people live comfortably within that. And poverty has never been and should never be, or is never an excuse for uncleanliness. However, you'll find people that live comfortably in uncleanliness.
Yeah.
So it is with a place like Chicago when people say they don't want to leave out of the city, because they live comfortably in the chaos. They live comfortably in the riffraff. They live comfortably in the midst of all of the dysfunction, crime, and so on and so forth. They become accustomed to it to where they don't want anything else. I've heard people tell me that, you know, staying in a quiet place is uncomfortable because they're used to the sound of police sirens and, you know, emergency vehicles. I can sleep like a baby in the country, but this is problematic for many. So people live comfortably in misery and prefer the misery. A lot of people that I know, a lot of guys that I know, Brother X, what they would do is they'll leave Chicago for a little while. And everybody that I've known to leave Chicago, they always do better financially in another place. But many of these same brothers often come back and they claim this to be with their family or to hang out. And many of these same brothers end up doing serious time in jail because they had to come back to the mess and to the chaos. And I'm like, whoa, you were out, bro. You were in Arizona, you were in Iowa, you were in these other states doing well. You went to Texas and done well, but you come back here.
Back to the mayhem.
Right. They missed them ninjas.
Yeah.
They miss their boys. They miss the chaos. They miss the mess. They miss the drama. And they come back and they suffer for it. So a lot of people just cannot break away from the madness. They like being outside in the middle of the night, yelling and screaming. And let's just be honest, they like the BS. And this is why a lot of people will not leave, even if their lives and their children's lives depend on it.
Yeah. And in most cases, it does, depending where you're at, where you're living. I mean, I don't know, man. I just don't get it. But shout out to Brother Clue from the Clue channel with the $5 super chat. He says the Proper Thought series, I did a video about that 5 days ago entitled I've Never Seen a U-Haul Truck in a Hood Movie. They never move. Appreciate that, Brother Clue. You get this. I appreciate you dropping your hard-earned coins on this platform. Appreciate that, Brother Clue. We're gonna go ahead, man, and wrap this up, man. Brother Black Ram, you my dude, man. I appreciate you coming on because I know you did a stream right before this. I know you're probably tired and shit.
Yeah,
I know I would be.
I had to work this morning. Been up since about 3:15 a.m. So I'm going on almost 24 hours.
Yeah, and you still showed up here.
Yeah, man. It's been a long time since I've been here, man. I'm like, I gotta show up on my brother's channel because it's been a while, man. I'm like busy with work, just like you busy with work, so it's hard for me to really move around on these YouTube streams.
Yeah.
But it's always a pleasure coming on with my big bro, man. Much love.
Yeah,
and
man.
Whenever I get some time, I'm just an email or a phone call away, man.
Yeah, man, you got to come through more often, Brother Ram.
Absolutely.
You got to come through more often because, man, I had like 3 people call me, man. They was like, "Oh man, how you get Black Ram up there?" That shit was mysterious to them. They was like, "Damn, how you get Black Ram up?" I was like, "Black Ram, that's my dude, motherfucker. That's my dude. That's how I got him up here."
Absolutely.
I mean, Black Ram, man. One thing I'm gonna say, man, I want to say about you before you go, man. Early on, y'all, when I first got into YouTube, man, this brother to the right of the screen, man, he supported me. He supported my channel. He always had my back. I mean, he's part of the thing. He's part of the whole machine that built my channel. Him, Brother ODJ, Angry Man, Don Calypso, Minister Jap. I mean, dudes like Ram, they helped me build my channel when I first started, when I had like 7.5 subscribers. All right. And this brother, like I said, this brother to my right, man, has always supported me. He's always had my back. Like I said, he let me use the shit. All of that. I got the utmost respect for this brother, but I'm pretty sure everybody in here already knows that and they know him. So get on down there and check him out if you don't already. Black Ram 313 is that dude, man. It's therapeutic Negroes. Much love. I got much love for this dude right here, man. And you already know. You already know, man. You always welcome here, man, on the T.P.O.T YouTube page, my brother. Any final thoughts, man, before we get out of here?
Oh man, other than it's just been a pleasure being here, and salute to everybody in the chat. This wouldn't be possible without people here supporting my brother's channel, commenting and liking. So salute to everybody in the chat. I sow a seed. I see you here. Nicer, of course, my man Clue. Got a lot of good people in here. Let me see. I saw another brother I wanted to give a shout out to real quick, Sir Anthony. So salute to all of you.
Oh yeah.
The ladies too.
Yeah, and a lot of them, the ladies don't. The ladies don't really like this channel, so it's only like a handful of. Yeah, there's only like a handful of females that actually come through. The ones with really thick skin. You know,
Yeah,
especially when I'm in here talking about them old mamas, boy. You gotta have a
right.
thick skin. You know, if you're a person that told of a JJ, you gotta have thick skin to be up over here on those nights, boy. You know, but
Absolutely.
I appreciate you coming through, man. You know, as always, man, you my brother, man, and you're always welcome here, my brother. You
Absolutely.
know,
Appreciate you, brother. We'll do it again.
absolutely, my brother. Peace.
Absolutely. Peace, brother.
Yeah. Just got off the line with my brother, Black Ram 313. I mean, me and Black Ram, man, we kind of go back a ways. Y'all Negroes don't know. All right, we go back. We go back. We do. You know, Black Ram's my dude, man. That brother always supported me, man. He always had my back when I first started doing YouTube and shit, man. When I first started streaming and making YouTube videos, Black Ram always had my back, man. He was always there for me. Like I said, he helped me build my channel, man. He's one of the many people that helped me build my channel, man. You know, I mean, Black Ram, the solid dude, man. That's my brother right there, man. And, you know, I got a lot of respect for that brother, man. A lot of respect, man. That brother's always had my back no matter what, man. No matter what. But shout out to Brother Great Britain again. Goddamn, Brother Great Britain got that money, boy. Brother Great Britain got that money, boy. He been throwing a lot of money on his channel tonight. But shout out to my brother Great Britain with the $5 super chat. He said, been rocking with Ram since he used to do one word still frame voiceover. Salute, champion. Yeah, he did used to do that. Yeah, that's right. But I appreciate that $5 super chat. But I'm telling you, boy, Brother Great Britain got that money, y'all. Yeah, he got that money. So you know you gonna get this. Uh-oh. A big coin drop on this platform. Appreciate that $5 super chat, Brother Great Britain. You know, where you work at, man? Send me a goddamn application, boy, because they send me an application. Yeah, man, we're gonna go ahead, man, and we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. But before we go, y'all know I gotta hit y'all in the head with T.P.O.T's programming notes. Yeah. I think I need to create a drop for that, right? So I don't have to say it. I just hit the button and it goes programming notes, right? But we got a few good shows coming down the pipe, man. Tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Another brother that I have a lot of respect for, Brother Jay Shine, will be here tomorrow night. And he will be talking race, lies, and the black male vote. And I'm warning y'all now, man. Brother Jay Shine is coming in here to talk some shit. I'm probably gonna put it on. I'm probably gonna have to end up putting this on members only at some point, because he's coming in here to talk some shit. I did speak to Brother Jay Shine on the phone the other day, and like I told y'all earlier, he said when he come on, he said he might be calling a few folks out. So whatever person he calls out, if you happen to be in the audience at that time, you will be allowed to come up and face off and defend yourself, whatever you want to call it. You will be allowed to do that. All right. So be here, 8 p.m. Eastern time, right here on the T.P.O.T YouTube page. You Negroes know that's tomorrow. We're throwing down early. It ain't going to be 9:30, 10 o'clock, or like 11 like we did tonight. 8 p.m. Eastern time, it goes down. All right? All right. And then Wednesday on the T.P.O.T YouTube page, we will be, damn, I didn't want to do that. We will be doing another installment of, and why are these, I got pictures in the wrong places, y'all. They in the wrong places. They are in the wrong places. Where's my other picture? I don't even see it now. There it is. Wednesday, another installment of What About? Y'all know the new What About series that we got going on here now. What we do is we ask what about certain things. With this What About series, I'm going to be spilling some of the secrets, y'all. I'm going to be talking about the shit that we don't normally talk about. And this Wednesday, it's what about insuring the lives. We're going to be talking about life insurance. We're going to be talking about how we don't have life insurance. We're going to be talking about how to go about getting life insurance. We're going to be talking about the importance of life insurance. Not just the importance to you, but the importance to your children. So what about insuring the lives? That's going to be the second installment of What About. Make sure you are here Wednesday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on the T.P.O.T YouTube page. You know. Thursday we might be doing an Ask the Doc, y'all. I'm kind of waiting for the doc to get back in contact with me. Because y'all know we haven't did an Ask the Doc in a minute. So we might do that, or we might do a music show. If we do the music show, we probably will end up doing that one probably like on a Friday or something. I don't know. But we're going to get another Ask the Doc in, and we're going to get another music stream in as well before the year's out. All right. The Ask the Doc, I got my feelers out there to the doc right now. I'm waiting for them to confirm whether or not they can come on, and we'll probably do it Thursday, y'all. Yeah, we'll probably do it Thursday. I'm also working on a music show that we might do either Friday or Saturday, but I also got a few debates that's kind of working their way around my email box. So y'all just have to just pay attention to the thumbnails, man. That's all I can say. Pay attention to the thumbnails, see what's up there. Check back here, if you feel like it. All right. Check back here and you'll find out what's going on, man. But it's looking like we're gonna have an Ask the Doc show on Thursday after the What About. Who knows? Thursday we may do a double header. Maybe I'll do an Ask the Doc, then I'll do a music show right after. It's just that we'll have to start early. We'll have to start at like 8, and then we'll do the Ask the Doc at like 10. I'm just waiting for the doc to get in contact with me. All right. That's what I'm waiting for. Actually, I'm waiting for them to get back to me. So we'll see what happens, folks. All right. So a recap, another What About on Wednesday. And my brother, the one and only, Jay Shine, will be here Saturday, tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. All right? All right. So, once again, I want to thank everybody, man, for coming out tonight, man. You could have been anywhere on a Friday night, man. You decided to be here. It's appreciated. I appreciate all the super chats. Okay. But most importantly, man, I appreciate your participation, man, and being here and, in the chat room and hanging out with me and my brother Black Ram, man. I appreciate that more than anything else. Y'all know, man, I don't take y'all lightly, man. I never have and I never will. You got my word on that. And that goes for all the good people who hang out there and the good folk who hang out in here. All right. All right. Special shout out to my brother, the one and only Black Ram 313. Y'all know how to find him. Get on down there and check him out, man, because Black Ram is kicking ass down there like he always does. Like he always does, But with that, I will leave you good folks with 3 words. Like I always do. Open your minds. See you black ass Negroes tomorrow. Peace.
You know this is therapeutic, man.
Open your minds.
Hours of power, hours of power, hours of power, hours of power.
And so a community is where you control your police, you control your commerce, you control your education, you control your house. We don't control none of that. We live in a hood. Huh? Well, what about the Negroes that get out? Oh, well, see, my cousin, they say he's a multi-millionaire, almost at $1 billion. 3 PhDs, working on 2 more. Driving down the street in Chicago in his Rolls Royce, enjoying himself, and he hear these sirens and look through the mirror and see this cop car flashing lights. He squeezed the steering wheel, man. Heart beats fast. Because he knows the price of a Negro, what it could be. And then when that cop car passed him by, he said, thank God he wasn't after you in the first place, punk. That Negro thing you can't get away from. It's universal. They wasn't coming after you with all your millions, with your Rolls Royce, with your PhD, didn't help. That's the hood. Huh? Why do you think you never pick up a paper until you read over and over and see white families travel? You think it's thousands of black cops in America. Why don't you see white families crying as black cops shot my loved one 40 times in the back of the head? Why do you think black cops are that? You think they're more spiritual? Think they're better? No! They got enough sense to know that white folks ain't gonna tolerate it. And I will stop in our neighborhood when we decide we will not tolerate it. Now, if we was organized, which is hard to organize people who are just gonna run crazy and you don't know you're crazy. But if we were, with the money we have, and the many people who would come to our aid that don't know what it's like to be a Negro, and we said, if we said, look, we saying if we don't get a federal law to deal with police brutality, that anytime a cop or anybody carry a gun, have to have a license just like you used to drive a car. And if you use it wrong, then you'll lose your license. And if it's upheld, you can never work again as a cop or a store guard or a private detective. How do you get Congress to push that through? Well, you take your economic power and you call on your friends, black, white, young and old, and say, this coming Christmas, if we don't have a federal law to outlaw police brutality by law, if we call them for a nationwide boycott of Christmas and it'll start on Thanksgiving. Well, let me tell you what that means. 79% of all retail in America happens between Thanksgiving and Christmas. People stay in business all year, lose money just for Christmas, huh? Well, what happens now? Black Fifth Avenue, Toys R Us, Sears and Roebuck, Westinghouse. They will get the bill, and all they got to do is make one phone call and say, Harry, that's the senator, I want that bill pushed through in 3 days. Okay, it's an economic thing. It's that simple. But we have the power, but the system has wiped us out so bad.
Hours of power, hours of power, hours of power.
San Antonio, Lincoln 6. Go ahead. Clear suspect down, 10-4. 10-4. The officer's code 4. We have one suspect that's been shot.
Open your minds.
You know this is therapeutic, man.
Only from T.P.O.T Media. Open your mind.